Caylee Marie Anthony was an American toddler who lived in Orlando, Florida with her mother, Casey Marie Anthony, and her maternal grandparents, George and Cindy Anthony. On July 15, 2008, she was reported missing in a 911 call made by Cindy.
Her has been taken. She has been missing for a month. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago. My daughter's been looking for her. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my
who said she had not seen Caylee for 31 days. According to what Cindy told the operators, Casey had given varied explanations as to Caylee's whereabouts before, eventually saying she had not seen Caylee for weeks. Casey later called the police and falsely told a police dispatcher that Caylee had been kidnapped by a nanny on June 9th. On December 11, 2008, Caylee's skeletal remains were found with a blanket inside a laundry bag in a wooded area near the Anthony family's house. Investigative reports and trial testimony varied between duct tape being found near the front and mouth of the skull. The medical examiner listed Caylee's cause of death as homicide by undetermined means. The state sought the death penalty for Casey. Relying largely on non-eyewitness evidence, the prosecution alleged Casey wished to free herself from parental responsibilities and murdered her daughter by administering chloroform and applying duct tape to her nosy and mouth. The defense team, led by Jose Baez, chiefly focused.
The rookie defense attorney. Earlier today, he spoke exclusively to ABC's Barbara Walters.
The prosecutor has said that as he heard the not guilty, he said, wow, wow, wow. What did you say?
Thank God.
You said there were no winners in this case, and you wanted justice for Casey and for Caylee. Was this also justice for Caylee?
Absolutely.
On challenging the prosecution's evidence, calling much of it fantasy forensics. The defense stated that the child had drowned accidentally in the family's swimming pool and that George had disposed of the body. On July 5, 2008, a jury found
as to count 2, the crime of aggravated child abuse, a jury of your peers having found you to be not guilty, the court will adjudge you to be not guilty of the crime contained in count 2.
On June 16, 2008, Casey departed from her parents' home in Orlando, Florida, where she and Caylee resided. George, Casey's father, later testified that he saw Caylee leaving with Casey. Told her mother, Cindy, that she was taking Caylee to her nanny, whom Casey identified as Zenaida Zani Fernandez Gonzalez, and the next day she further informed Cindy that the three were headed to Florida on a work trip 30 days after Casey's departure. Her car was found abandoned in Orlando and towed away. George and Cindy were notified that the car had been impounded. When George went to recover the car, he and the tow yard manager noted a strong smell coming from the trunk, which both later stated they believed to be that of human decomposition. When the trunk was opened, it contained only a bag of trash. That day, Cindy reported Caylee missing, telling 911 dispatchers that Casey's car smelled of dead bodies and that she had not seen Caylee for 31 days. Cindy later retracted her statement regarding the car's odor. Trial. The trial began on May 24, 2011 at the Orange County Courthouse, with Judge Belvin Perry presiding.
There's a portion of the opening statement.
In the opening statements, lead prosecutor Linda Drain Burdick described the story of Caylee Anthony's disappearance day by day. The defense further said that Casey's seemingly unaffected behavior after Anthony's death was attributable to child abuse she had suffered at the hands of her father and brother. Finally, the defense stated that the police investigation had been compromised by the media frenzy.
She told her mother that she was going to spend the night
to be that of human decomposition. When the trunk was opened, it contained only a bag of trash. That day, Cindy reported Caylee missing, telling 911 dispatchers that Casey's car smelled of dead bodies and that she had not seen Caylee for 31 days. Cindy later retracted her statement regarding the car's odor.
This cursory evaluation of the vehicle after it had been there for 3 or 4 days, whether or not you noticed any odor emanating or coming from the vehicle in any way.
As I was looking around the vehicle, there was nothing really noticeable at all until I put my hand up against the glass to shield the sun and look through the windows, and at that point I did notice
Evidence. In the trial's second week, the prosecution called various members of Casey's family to the stand. George was their first witness, and in a response to their questioning, he denied having sexually abused his daughter. Both George and Casey's then boyfriend testified they did not smell anything resembling human decomposition in Casey's car when she visited them while Anthony was missing, but George said he did smell something similar to human decomposition when he went to pick up the car on July 15th. Cindy testified that her comment to that Casey's car smelled like someone died was just a figure of speech, further noting that she had made exaggerated claims on the phone in an effort to get the police to respond quickly. The third week was chiefly devoted to forensic analysis. The prosecution called software designer John Dennis Bradley, who testified that, based on a program he used to recover deleted searches, someone using the Anthony computer, he could not specify who had searched for chloroform 84 times. After the trial, Bradley publicly reported that this number was an error attributable to a bug in his program, and that the computer, in fact, contained only one search for chloroform. 2 police dog handlers indicated that their dogs had detected human decomposition, one in Casey's car and the other in the Anthony's backyard. Chief Medical Examiner Jan Garavaglia, for the prosecution, testified that she determined Anthony's manner of death to be homicide based on physical and circumstantial evidence, including the fact that Anthony's death had not been reported and that chloroform had been found in Anthony's car, noting that even a small amount of chloroform could result in a child's death. On cross-examination, Garavaglia admitted that toxicology tests on Anthony's bones came up negative for volatile chemicals, but she maintained her opinion that the death was not an accident, given the lack of a report, verdict, and sentence.
Isn't necessarily science, but more like science fiction. And you'll see that throughout the course of this trial as the state reaches that level of desperation. And then I want to conclude with my parting remarks and tell you where I think at the very end of this trial we will end up at. Now, everyone wants to know what happened. How in the world can a mother wait 30 days before ever reporting her child missing? It's insane. It's bizarre. Something's just not right about that. Well, the answer is actually relatively simple. She never was missing. Caylee Anthony died on June 16, 2008, when she drowned in her family's swimming pool. You're going to hear that Caylee loved to swim, and Caylee could get out of the house very easily, and did so on that day. We hear about it every day, or once a week, or once every other week. We hear of a story on the news, or we'll see a little blurb on the newspaper about some poor child who accidentally drowned in the family swimming pool. Well, the reason we're all here is because not of the commonality of this tragedy. Now, that's unfortunately, it's far too common. In fact, in the state of Florida, it is the #1 way that children die is drowning in swimming pools.
On July 7, 2011, sentencing arguments were heard. The defense asked for the sentencing to be based on one count of lying, on the grounds that the offenses occurred as part of a single interview with police dealing with the same matter, the disappearance of her daughter. In the alternative, the defense argued for concurrent sentencing, that is, for Casey to be permitted to serve the various sentences at the same time. The judge disagreed with both arguments. Perry found the statements to constitute 4 distinct separate lies. He sentenced Casey to, consecutively, 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 in fines for each of the 4 counts of providing false information to a law enforcement officer.
Susan Mears, SUSAN-MEARS.
You may proceed.
May it please the court, Mr. Ain. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Ms. Mears.
Good morning.
You were asked to bring in certain items of evidence so they could be introduced, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that includes Defense Exhibit CP, which is the Gatorade bottle,
Yes, sir.
and including the Defense CR, which would be, I guess, the cardboard which the syringe was in.
I don't actually know the contents originally of the bottle.
Okay.
I never opened it.
And you collected the items that were inside the bottle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the Disney bag.
Yes, sir.
And was that brought in as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you hand them all to the clerk? I think you had some more that you had offered, but you had not handed to the clerk so she can receive those items and the evidence. And there being no objections from the state, it will be received in evidence as defense exhibits.
CP will become defense exhibit number 34. CR will become defense exhibit number 35. CO will become defense exhibit number 36. And DE will become defense exhibit number 37.
We have no further questions for Ms. Mears.
Cross-examination.
None.
Thank you, Ms. Mears. You may.
The maximum penalty prescribed by law. Because Casey had been incarcerated since October 2008, she received more than 1,000 days in time-served credit, and she was released 10 days after the sentencing on July 17th.
Comedy Channel decided to take on a more serious topic. His belief Casey Anthony should get the death penalty.
What I want to know from you guys is, do you think she should?
My opinion, no. No.
That prompted a video reply from this man living in Japan.
Punish people for murdering others with the death penalty seems, to me, to be the height of hypocrisy.
You live in Japan, and you're familiar with the story.
This resident of Greater Orlando posted a video reply of his own saying the death penalty should not be taken.
As the cameras captured every moment, the trial became not only a legal spectacle, but also a media sensation. Viewers around the world tuned in, forming opinions and engaging in impassioned debates about the twists and turns of the case. Regardless of one's stance on the outcome, the Casey Anthony trial remains a poignant chapter in the annals of legal history. Its legacy serves as a reminder of the complexities inherent in the pursuit of justice and the enduring impact of high-profile trials on the public psyche. But for now, that's all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. This is CrimeCrypt till then, signing out.